want to make sure we get past the leader here. Yeah, talking about a compositional technique that Frank used that I always liked as well, which was taking a melody that's not maybe all that unusual, so something fairly standard, and then putting harmonies underneath of it that are very unusual. Like instead of harmonizing the melody and having that particular melody note be something normal like the third or the fifth, make it be the flat ninth of a different chord. Like like if you've got an E natural on the top, instead of making it the third of a C chord, make it the flat ninth or the the raised fifth of something else. Make it the raised fifth of a B flat chord. Actually, it would be the diminished fourth rather than the raised fifth. Anyway, that was something that I always enjoyed about his music. Again, the question of the challenge, it was, well, on saxophone there were things like Black Page, Mystery Studio Song. Alien Orifice was a lot of fun. I loved Alien Orifice because I got to play very challenging things on saxophone, and in the middle section it went into a different melody, and he had me change to a solo violin sound on keyboard. So I had to immediately think different key, concert pitch now, as opposed to B-flat instrument on saxophone, and go to keyboard and meet that challenge, and then go back to saxophone and pick up a line that Ed and Tommy were playing, and I'd come in on like the bar 11 of that series of things there. So Alien Orifice was a lot of fun for me too there, and challenging, and to me, the challenge part immediately evokes a feeling of, oh, this is fun, instead of, oh, this is drudgery. It's a great feeling when you meet something like that and get it, when you can get to the point where you can do it. And I remember, many times taking my horn back to the hotel room and, putting up with people banging on the door and saying shut up, and banging on the ceiling and saying shut up. But I knew I had to practice this stuff to get it down, and working on Alien Orifice in this one particular bar that was really tough for me, and I'd have to just go really slow, get it under the fingers, and then gradually faster, and add the next bar and all that stuff. And it was fun. That was not drudgery to me at all. It was fun because I knew the end result was going to be great, and I was going to feel good about myself and contribute to this music. So it was a lot of fun. As far as vocal things, well, it was a challenge to make the range that he asked me to make in a lot of these things without popping blood vessels by the end of the night. But again, just doing it over and over again enhanced the strength. And also, being a healthy person and being an athlete, I think, was a big part of it too, because, that was an athletic endeavor, singing that stuff. That's like running a marathon. And I always took real good care of myself. And I remember I had my... it was on the 82 tour. We were in Europe. We were in Linz, Austria, when I had my birthday over there. And I think, was it my 32nd birthday? No, 34th birthday. I was 34 that year in 82. And for a birthday present, I gave a birthday present to the rest of the band. I gave them a yoga demonstration to show them what a well-maintained 34-year-old body would do. That was the lifestyle that I led when I was out there. During the day, I would get up early, and this didn't happen on a lot of other tours. On Zappa tours, well, of course, there was not this whole party, drug, booze thing going on like there was on some other tours I've done, and a lot of other tours that go out there. So I would get up early, and I would go and I would walk through the streets of Lyon or wherever we were that I'd never been to before, and find out what was going on, because to me, education is just of paramount importance all through life. If you stop learning, you might as well be dead, because in a way you are. And most people, when they leave school and go out into the real world and start to earn a living, stop learning. Travel. The travel of these tours was my ongoing education, and that's how I looked at it. So I would get up early, I'd go out there, I'd see what was there, and deal with people, and haggle over the price of something in French, which I could speak, and then I'd come back to the hotel, and I'd take a swim, and I'd work out in the gym, and just take care of myself, because it enhances everything you do, and I think it enhanced my capabilities as a musician too, being healthy that way.
For your relief, what comes to the 84 tour, I must say that when I showed to my girlfriends that Does Humor Belong in Music video, so they were ready to throw their hot pants for you. Especially after you did whipping post.
Oh, right.
So you did get all the girls.
That was... that's funny, too, because I remember the 82 tour... there were times, for most of my life, I'm not going to lie. I have had times where I was promiscuous, sexually promiscuous. But when I was in a relationship, I was monogamous. I didn't fool around, and I was in a relationship on the '82 tour, and so I was completely celibate for that entire time. But I do remember being a little frustrated with it sometimes and wishing that I wasn't. But you mentioned whipping post. Now that was a funny story too, because I used to sing whipping post back in the bar band days. That was one of the first leads that I actually started to do when I started to sing leads and not just do all the backup stuff. Because I loved the song. I liked the way Greg Allman sang it. I liked the song. I just really responded to it. And so one day, out of the blue, in rehearsal, I think it was in rehearsal for, was it the first tour, 81 or 82? I don't remember when I started doing that. It was early on, though. It was either 81 or 82. Just out of the blue, one day at rehearsal, Frank said, "Do you know whipping post?" And I said, "Do I know whipping post?" and he said, "Great, get it ready, teach the band, have it ready for tomorrow." And the reason was that the previous tour, or one or two tours before that, they were in Finland.
Yeah, I know.
And
1974.
And somebody was yelling whipping. I don't know if they were drunk and thought they were at the Allman Brothers concert or what, but somebody was yelling for whipping post, and nobody in the band knew it or could do it if they did know it. So Frank asked me to get that ready, and that became our big finale. That became like the last encore. It was hard to follow. I mean, how would you follow that? So, and it was great fun for me because even though it wasn't a Zappa song, we burned the hell out of it, and it was a lot of fun to do, and I got a chance to really just go at the end and just do whatever I felt like doing. And sometimes it wasn't the last encore, and there were times where it would go into something else. So I would have to sort of invent some way to segue into the next thing, and instead of, Greg used to sing at the end of it, "Good Lord, I feel like I'm dying," and I remember one time I sang, "Good Lord, I feel like I'm the walrus," and we would go into walrus.
That's it, yeah.
Right, yeah. So that was one of the most fun things for me to do, was whipping post. I really enjoyed that. When we would have our huddle before the show and we would see the list for the first time, I'd go down there and I'd check out, oh good, there's a lead for me, there's a lead. And the shows where I had a lot of leads to sing, I loved. Because I love doing all the other stuff, but I think my main instrument is really my voice. Yeah. And the more I got to use that, the happier I was.
What were the most funniest things about 88's tour?
The funniest things to me were all these spoofs we were doing on the televangelists. As a rational man, I am an atheist. I can't comprehend, I don't understand how it is that people believe in supernatural beings. I just think it's nonsense. And it's something that I've studied a great deal. I did not come to this decision lightly. I am an avid student of philosophy and some other things that you wouldn't imagine, like economics and things like that.
Yes, I have myself graduated in philosophy.
Oh.
Yes.
I despise Kant. I don't know what you think of him. I'm a big fan of Ayn Rand. I'm an objectivist.